There is a fundamental tension in reality that causes so many of the problems we all encounter. It's the clash of truth and power. Nietzsche said, "To recognize untruth as a condition of life, that certainly means resisting accustomed value feelings in a dangerous way, and a philosophy that risks this would by the token alone place itself beyond good and evil." Here Nietzsche highlights the indisputable fact that lies, untruth, are invested with incredible power, hence are on the side of the will to power and against the will to truth. Nietzsche said, "What really is this will to truth in us?" In fact, we made a long halt at the question as to the origin of this will, until at last we came to an absolute standstill before a yet more fundamental question. We inquired about the value of this will. Granted that we want the truth, why not rather untruth? The stark fact is that powerful lies and delusions totally overwhelm the will to truth. Just look at the course of human history. Humanity despises the truth. It always has. It loves power. Untruth, whether deliberate lies or captivating delusions, has served the human power agenda extremely well. Of course, power in the end must align with truth. If a billion Christians were lined up on the fields of Armageddon at the end of history, praying fervently to their God of untruth to smite their foes, and their foes had 100 nuclear missiles, who would win? Here we have a direct clash between the power of delusion, untruth, and the power of reality, truth. In this case, the crazy Christians would be wiped out. Reality trumps delusion. But now imagine a world ruled by the Catholic Church and the Inquisition. Imagine that the Church hunts down all free thinkers, rationalists, heretics, infidels, apostates and blasphemers and burns them at the stake. Well, now we have the triumph of delusion. It doesn't matter how aligned the free thinkers and rationalists are to the truth. Unless the few can build an amazing weapon that can destroy their countless enemies, they are doomed. And that's exactly what has happened in human history. The smart people have always been hunted and killed by the moronic, deluded masses, or had to actually throw in their lot with the psychopathic leaders of the mob, the demagogues, prophets, kings, dictators and the super-rich. Many geniuses often operated in two modes, public and private, secret. They released orthodox publications to serve as their cover story, while also writing unorthodox tracts for private, trusted audiences, and secret societies. Sometimes, they would put coded material into the public domain to try to fish for and hook new, open-minded recruits. Sometimes, they would go too far. Galileo, the first modern scientist, found himself in front of the Inquisition and was lucky to escape the stake. Giordano Bruno paid the ultimate price. The will to truth always wins in the end because the people who have complete control over reality have total power and can destroy their enemies. However, it takes a long time to reach the truth and unlock its powers. In the meantime, the will to power does not align with the will to truth but instead opposes it. For the longest time, lies and delusions prove much more powerful than the truth. The people that succeed are those that manipulate the imaginary truth, the pseudo-truth, falsehoods that masquerade as truth, people such as prophets, gurus, sophists, monarchs, the super-rich and the like. The real truth struggles in the background, lonely and lost, mostly being carried forward by a few smart, persecuted individuals. Humanity's entire intellectual progress can probably be attributed to no more than about 1,000 people. Maybe a few thousand more have made some small contributions, but that's it. All the people that pray, meditate, sing hymns, chant, engage in mindfulness, do yoga, and whatnot, have not done a single thing for the progress of humanity. In fact, they have opposed it at every turn. People such as the Buddha, Moses, Saint Paul, Jesus Christ and Muhammad have been the falsest prophets you could ever imagine. Everything they said was nonsense, total lies and delusions, obstructing the truth in every way. These people were vehicles of the will to power as the will to untruth, in direct opposition to the will to power as the will to truth. Science was the first human activity to start pragmatically aligning truth and reality, but it did it so only at the phenomenal, observable level. It left behind the noumenal, unobservable level where the actual truth and source of all power resides. Ontological mathematics resolves this problem. It unifies the will to power and the will to truth. It explains everything. So, the history of the human race is all about will to power. Ultimate power lies in the truth, which is exactly why the truth, ultimately, is the most prized thing of all. But before that, humanity has to endure endless lies and delusions and mystical nonsense and crazy beliefs, because these all attract a certain amount of power and then become incredibly difficult to overcome. Reality is the will to truth at the syntactic level, but the will to power at the semantic level. At the end of the universe, syntax and semantics are perfectly aligned. Before then, power and truth are at war. Gödel's religion. Gödel set out his religious worldview in 14 points, Google them. Seriously, to all empiricists, would you like to explain how you are smarter than Gödel, and would you also like to show how you, a total nobody, are right and he, one of the greatest geniuses of all time, is wrong? Good luck. Go through each of his 14 points and refute each one, bearing in mind that he's a genius and you're not. Do you even know what he's talking about?